And we gon' have a toast for all my extra motherfuckers coast to coast out here doing the most. Give us some more.
Happy Monday, everyone. It is Rudy 6 here. I am back with episode 3 of the Bodcast. You know, we were supposed to have a special guest at the top of the show today. We might still have that guest, but I highly doubt it. But you know, it's a shame, truly. Text messages were sent, addresses were given, lies were ultimately told. And just like when I spent hours at a time talking to one motherfucker on Grindr, I thought I would be committed to and possibly wed. But here I am once again sitting silent in this room by my damn self after a fresh beat off, watching whatever episode of the Golden Girls will have me, eating a bowl of cereal and smoking a bowl of weed. We're just gonna pretend like happiness does exist. We're gonna get this show started.
They don't know. They don't know, no. They don't know. They don't know, no. I don't know about you, but I'd invest in.
I think I would do really well on reality television. Just strictly from my own issues with needing to seek validation from other motherfuckers. I do well when eyes are on me. Like when there's a pressure, when there's, you know, the sands of time breathing down my neck and rolling down my spine and getting stuck in my crack. Have you ever gotten sand stuck in your orifices at the beach? Oh my God. Have you ever heard of something called a screaming pelican? We're going to take a little detour here. Urban Dictionary is a thing that I don't think people still really use because a lot of the terms on it are just, we know what they are. So basically the screaming pelican is when you're fucking on the beach and one possessor of penis pulls it out of whatever portal it's pounding. It pushes into the sand, coating itself, if you will, like a soft serve ice cream dipped in, roasted almonds. Maybe some rainbow sprinkles on that bitch. Ooh, and then old boy just resumes penetration with that sand painted penis. Imagine the chafe. What would even happen? I don't even know medically what would be going on. WebMD, sand in butthole. Why does my anus itch? 15 causes of anal itching. You think I'm not going to read through all 15 of these? You're fucking wrong. Good morning. We're going to find out why my anus itches. We're going to take a little medical tour on this bitch. Alright, here go 15 reasons why. One is you have a troublesome spot. I'm just going to read the titles of these and let y'all come up with your own reasonings. Number 2 is bathroom habits. You've been doing something nasty, thinking it's safe. Being too clean. Okay, that don't make no sense. I gotta read this one. Wiping too hard can cause itching or make it worse. Don't use soap, hot water, medicated powders, perfume sprays, or deodorants either. They can destroy the oily skin barrier that protects this sensitive area. So you motherfuckers that be putting Old Spice on your gooch, you better fucking knock it off. Okay? Okay? It's enough. Enough Old Spice gooch, okay? Okay? You have a problem? I've been meaning to talk to you about it. Your diet. Just, be mindful of what you eat. One day I'll do a discussion about the stress of dieting as a bottom in the gay community. Or just, one whose ass catches peen. Or things. One whose ass be catching. Because there is a whole fucking fast these motherfuckers got to do to get it right and get it tight. Keep it tight. Your underwear. I've never gone wrong going commando. I'm just saying. Your stools. Now, I'm not talking about the shit you be stepping up on to get that book off that shelf. I ain't talking about what you be stepping on top of to get that, what's put up high? That bottle of Raid. That fly swatter. That old photo of your grandmother. Talking about poop. Fun fact, Austin Powers, whatever one Fat Bastard was in, I think that's the one Beyonce was in. I never knew that stools were also called, I never knew that poo was also stools. I didn't know stools also meant shit until Austin Powers. Gold member. I love gold! My name is Foxy Cleopatra, and I'm a whole lot of woman! 7, hemorrhoids. Straightforward. Anal fissures. I'm not even going to do that to you. I'm 9 years old. Anal fistula is like arugula. Fistula. This is the tunnel that connects a serious infection inside your I'm not going to do this to y'all. It is Monday. Infections. Warts. Pinworms. Pinworms! This is the shit of nightmares. Scabies, you pirate bitches. Oh, here got this bitch calling me. Psoriasis, antibiotics. Ooh, careful, drugs can kill you. Other health problems. That's 16. Alright, I'm gonna answer this shit. Yo.
Yo.
This is awkward.
So my phone died earlier.
It's I was so confused. And then my Instagram, like, it hides messages from people that I'm not friends with, so I didn't see Liz's message till, like, I looked at, it said, like, other messages. Check this shit.
You're like,
and I was like,
my biggest fan of Bodcast is reaching out to me, right?
I know, I was like, oh, I wonder if it's a fan. And it was Liz, like, we're on your street.
And speaking of your street, are you still open to doing an episode?
I am still open to doing an episode.
We will head out in 20 minutes. Is that okay?
That is solid. I've got all the time in the world.
Boop, boop. Okay, so we will head out in 20 minutes, and I will text you then.
Sounds good.
Alright.
Alright, brother man. Peace.
Wait, are we gonna head out running afterwards?
These motherfuckers. Wasting my time. Oh, no, thank God, because I don't know how long I could have done this shit for. I'm just playing. I could do this all motherfucking day. Anyway, so I just came out of a tangent to talk about this. Screaming Pelican. No, I'm going to go ahead and take a genuine in those jeans. Looking dead when it's problem. In the phone for me. We're going to take a genuine break. When we get back, I'm going to be joined by this motherfucker who was supposed to be here from the fucking jump. You ever get that? Where the grinder motherfucker has already flaked on you and you've proceeded with your night. You have moved on. That bitch has already become a chapter of the past in your book. And you're moving forward. You're chugging along, living your most decent life. And then that bitch wants to hit you up just 3 hours after the originally agreed upon meetup time. And you're just like, alright, listen here, bitch. You had your motherfucking chance. I have moved on beyond you, little bitch. And if you think that I'm just gonna drop trowel after driving a few miles, you think I'm just gonna get in my car, put on my favorite podcast, and drive 5.7 miles to come get that ass? You good and goddamn right I will. What you think I was gonna do? Stay the fuck home? No, a couple hours pass. You think I'm not still down to clown? Psh. We'll be back.
Till I hit OG, these optimal genetics course through veins, spreading the blessings. But it's leaving stains, giving birth to pain, trying to unmake, break my brain. But I ain't the one, I'll never run. You keep your guns, I'll get my money. Looking in the mental mirror glass, watch me talk to myself. I gotta ask, could I miss it with the bullshit? Didn't know that I could do this. Would kick it in the overdrive.
You should start recording.
Oh, I started recording when he started talking about Bollywood.
Perfect. Okay, awesome. Because sometimes, when we were recording 10 TV in the office the other day,
Yeah.
and 10 TV is, I think his name is KP.
Okay. Impossible.
Kim Possible, and I can't remember his name, unfortunately.
Wade. Ron.
I only remember his name when I see him,
Shiga.
and then it's like, oh, it's that guy. And then we were recording, but they were funnier like outside of the recording. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh yeah, because
They're
it's
probably more relaxed.
burping less. I feel like what the fuck are you?
Burping-
You just did like deep girthy burp.
Girthy.
Right when you're talking about like, oh, they sounded better.
That's true.
Vomiting. Hey y'all, we're back. My name is Rudy. My name is still Rudy 6. And side note, when you guys called me earlier, that whole call.
Can I just lie about my background for the podcast sake?
Yeah, I'm gonna.
You can just blurb up or just keep it, and then what will be a lie is a mystery.
Whatever will be, as they say.
Yeah.
That voice that you're hearing, this rude motherfucker who left me hanging like a fucking grinder date gone wrong. I swear to God, his name's David.
Yeah.
Lorenzo. Do you want your last name in that? Or is that too much?
They
can
can
put it out there.
at they.
Oh, yeah, your
David
name's-
Lorenzo. If for the fans,
We're
you know,
gonna
for the
we're
fans.
doing all that Instagram shit. At the
Yeah,
end. My
usually
brain
I would
ready
say for the ladies, but I have a lady now.
She's right here. And
I
speaking
know.
of lady, right here, we got the homie Liz in the house. I'm gonna put in a little like cheer sound right there.
Okay.
But say what up, everyone, Liz.
Hey there.
Can you pass me my phone really quick?
So David here is a homie of mine that I met. I realized like when you made that post about a year ago, I realized that it's been like a little over a year that I've known you, which is fucking weird.
Because you
Because
told me,
I met you very soon before that happened.
and then you told me the first time that we smoked weed and recorded a podcast that you usually keep to yourself. I remember that day. And
I said that.
you publicly.
I keep to myself. I must have been in a rough spot when I don't want shit to do with humans.
I have the perfect prop app for this moment, by the way.
It's ready.
I hope you're.
Yeah, keep the volume on that bitch.
This is it.
That's it. This is it. The budget's real low for the podcast. We can only get 2 decibels of a fucking alarm blare. This ain't no Staples Center in this bitch. There it is.
Yes.
The budget has been increased. I love it. Bitch. Okay, we're done. You're off the soundboard.
You can create your own as well, but I haven't created my own yet.
Not yet.
So it's kind of cool.
Here, I'm gonna make one right now. This is a make your own
Sound
ringtone?
effect. Sound
effect?
effect. Yeah, sound effect.
This is the sound. I think the most effective alarm would be this sound.
Okay.
Hey, 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 hey. Kick and recording.
David's gonna wake
That's
up
it?
to that now.
Okay, well, I just put it on repeat. It only got one hang. Work on it at home. That's homework for another day. Yeah, what app is that?
Okay, it's called Hamhorn, and
Hamhorn.
whoever makes the most original gets.
No. We ain't doing all that shit.
I will personally like one of your photos on Instagram.
You probably already did. Look, whoever wants to
I
be
was
fooled
looking-
into thinking you'll receive a prize, download the Hamhorn app. They didn't fucking sponsor us. Don't download it.
I know.
Don't do that. But if you want to make your own stressful alarm, hamhorn.me. Gov is where you want to go.
It's a new thing. You know what I'm saying?
Hamhorn.gov.
Yeah.
Anyway, that I can see where
It's
this is
really
going.
huge in like Sweden and Magnolia that the government just like steps in.
Hamhorn?
So yeah,
Hamhorn
with
sounds like it
Hamhorn.
would be big in Sweden.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like a vuvuzela. Isn't that what they use to make loud sounds from cliff tops?
Oh yeah.
They're like longhorn. Longhorn.
I'm really gullible, so I'm assuming
Stop
that
it.
you named
We
it
have gone
correctly.
so far off the rails. We're not doing this. This is the Bodcast. So, David is here. David Lorenzo, who I've known for a little over a year now. He's a creative based out of Santa Ana, that was racist. He's a creative based out of Santa Ana.
You have the right to though.
I'm gonna
you can,
take
you
that.
can say yeah.
I can.
Yeah.
I have the right to be racist.
I-
I have the right
as-
to be an asshole.
As the ambassador of all Mexicans,
Yes, you got it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm gonna add that to the ham horn.
What would you say is your primary? What's your elevator pitch? What's your like? I got 15 seconds.
Dude, it depends on the person, man. It depends on the person because sometimes like you're a typical marketing slut, you know what I'm saying? But like with nerds, I can talk nerd really well. And you guys have not heard me talk nerd
No.
really
What
well.
brand of
He
nerd
brags
though?
about
Like,
this.
don't talk about code.
Anime, probably.
If like, is he an
Thank-
anime
thank-
nerd? Is it comic book nerd?
I was talking with my friend Eddie, and he was like, it's really hard to give the artistic types direction because they speak a different language than me. But I was raised in environments where I strayed away and did art for a very long time, and I was taught by this guy named Javier Alvarez.
This sounds like an epic tale. Were you taught at the top of like cliffs and caves?
Dude, yeah. So he had a large beard and long hair, and he was always
Yeah.
shirtless,
Okay.
which is why I'm always
Well,
shirtless.
now
you know what I'm
we're
saying?
Drifting into another category of film.
Always oiled up.
Which I'm
you know
down
what I'm saying?
for. But I don't. Liz is right here. So Javier Bardem taught you everything you know.
Yeah, Javier Bardem Alvarez.
What did Javier bestow upon you?
He saw that I was like really good, and I never liked drawing, and I never liked being called an artist. But he accepted me the way I was. Reason being is like I told this I would rather be like an explorer than a person called an artist, but still
like
do.
Ferdinand.
Like Dora, the explorer, Explora, Explora. Yeah, just
I don't need like it's like the N word. We don't need the hard R. Explorer is just fine for me. Dora the Explorer, my nigga. No, we can't do that. It's offensive.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, that's why I call her Dora the Explorer.
So you're more captivated by being an explorer
Yeah.
or an explorer, like when you say
You actually
I'm
majored
talking
in art,
like-
though. Do you like being called an artist?
Yes, I fucking love art and
Yeah.
making it and
Yeah.
being it.
Or a musician?
Or a musician. I see it all. I see my life as art. I feel
Got
like
it.
art is like the umbrella term for what I am. Human can be in there, I guess. Black, gay, all the other things that I do.
Do you
But
ever
artist.
think about like the interviews that you're gonna have in the future of
Like my
yourself?
Age Hollywood story?
Yeah, exactly.
My Oscar
Yeah.
acceptance. I mean, I've envisioned a lot of interviews and speeches.
Same.
Yes and no. I think I envision not necessarily the interviews that I'll have in the future, but I envision the success or like the ability to like go to places.
You
and just
think
be
of
like,
the narcissism. Stop lying to me right now. You think about the Hollywood true
Yeah, that
story.
was the first thing I fucking
love
said.
that. I love
I wasn't actually playing. Bitch, please. Yes.
Okay, and with
Not
like,
that they even do that anymore.
I feel like-
I think of my Viceland documentary.
or that's so 2010s.
Don't do that. Don't throw me in with some like countdown, VH1 countdown trash.
Has been.
Like, If I wanted to do the flavor of love, I would just do it. But
So I imagine just like for artists, a really pretentious New York woman in a really
Meryl Streep
lofty.
in
Yeah,
Dolores
absolutely,
Prada.
absolutely. Yes, absolutely. I love that. And she has a mic, and she's like, "So,
Oh my God.
what is your favorite word?"
My favorite word?
And then you say,
I would say tuberculosis. Not, it's a fun word. Not the disease is awful.
"Yeah."
But the word, what a fun word. You hear that syllable?
To say.
Tuberculosis. My favorite Spanish word, biblioteca.
That is a really fun word
Isn't
to
it
say.
fucking fun?
Now you just say it
but
casually.
I just
right?
feel like biblioteca hits some similar sounds, like that hard C at the end.
Mm-hmm.
My mouth just likes what it does when it says biblioteca.
I've always thought the word "girl" was awkward because it was like Earl.
Because
like
you
Earl,
want to add
like-
to it. You want to be like, girl, girl, girl.
Opposed to that last one was really good. Opposed to,
Earl is
Girl?
probably the grossest male name, like up there with Hank and Chet.
Chet,
Just really rough one.
what an asshole,
Who the
man.
fuck named anyone Chet? What's it short for? Chetrick?
He's an asshole who wears sunglasses indoors.
I think.
Have done that
Don't
before.
be mad at Stevie Wonder, Ray Charles, they can do whatever the fuck they want. Right?
They're exception though. They're not the
Yeah, we know black people can
majority.
do
They're not the
anything.
majority. You know what I'm saying? They're not the majority of people who
Okay,
wear
you have
sunglasses.
3 times said majority.
Yeah, is that not allowed here? Is that
It's majority.
majority?
I love this.
Majority.
Never mind. It's majority. You got it. Ding, ding. I thought you were trying to combine minority and majority to try to fucking bamboozle me. And I wasn't going to have it. Anyway, smooth segue into the main topic of discussion. So on this album that I just put out, if I could bring the conversation back to me,
Yeah.
on this album I've got.
That's a talent, by the way, which you have refined. Anyway, as you were saying.
Can you let me finish? Dude?
Yeah, sure. I am letting you finish.
I'm gonna let you.
I'm gonna let you.
Clink.
Everyone
Clink
click.
every time. Okay, Liz just knocked over the microphone.
Liz.
I'm confident it was Liz. So on this album, there's 18 tracks total. Honestly, I did too much, but I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
6 of them are interludes, so there's 12 main tracks.
18 tracks?
18 tracks.
Is it a CD from the early 2000s?
It's a CD. What? It's
Why?
it's a compact disc from.
The early 2000s? Like, okay, so when people switch
I'm not
to
doing
CDs,
this. No, we're not going down a compact disc loop. We're not doing this today. Yes, I'm just gonna say yes. It's
Yeah.
from the early 2000s. You're
Yeah.
right. Ding, ding, ding. That's what I'm doing this today. So there's 12 main tracks, and each track it's gonna correspond with a month out of the year.
Oh, that's
Okay.
cool.
And I'm going to use, basically, like, I'm going to pull the message from each song each month to really make that my main priority to apply not only to just that month, but to sort of, like, proceed with the rest of life with that message sort of ingrained in me. So the first song, with the way that everything lines up, it's July is my check, I'd invest in me. So, pretty straightforward concept from the title, but I wanted to have a conversation about what is it that we do currently to invest in ourselves, whether it's creatively or in terms of, improving our relationships with people, our finances, whatever the fuck the situation is. What are we pouring into our lives right now to make ourselves better? So for me, literally doing this podcast is one of those areas for me. It's been this thing on like my
Bucket list?
I was going to say my vision board, as if I have a vision board. I don't have one of those.
You can start one at any time you want
I
to.
sure could, and I will not.
What if I gave you
And you give
a
me
board?
a cork board and
Yeah.
10
Done.
to 12 tabs?
Done.
Done,
He's
dude.
gonna get you.
Dude, I'm gonna
Alright,
get
fine.
you one, dude.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm just happy. I'm just
Appreciate
like,
you.
I don't need no fucking cork. Pop the cork. Champagne, damn it. Woo! But
Okay, so doing this podcast.
doing this podcast has been on my list for a while, and when I think about all the different ways that it's something that I can invest in. You know, it's something that I hope to build out in the future. Maybe make some money off this bitch with sponsors and ads.
Yeah.
But there's something very therapeutic for me about like sitting down consistently and just talking about shit.
Yeah.
Whether it's by myself or with people.
Yeah.
That I just think is.
And I feel like you're like me, and you can babble on forever about whatever topic it may be.
But will people listen? That's my overarching question with this podcast. But yeah.
I think they will, as long as it's niche based and it adds value to the niche. And
value to the niche.
Yeah, exactly. So like, something that I've discovered about myself is that the more I push aside my ego, my little I, and concern myself with a group, the better my life becomes. So like, I'm going to make a fashion show with Carlton, and it's going to hit the same day of my birthday, but it's not going to be my birthday celebration. It's more concentrated on helping other creatives have a space and a beautiful platform to have an audience to see their arts, to whether it's Banloy doing his fashion design. And we want the fashion designers to coordinate with a performer that they think really brings out the brand that they're doing fashion for. So it's going to be interesting, because when we were having this meeting, I was telling Carlton, I want it to be like seeing Beyonce.
Oh, bitch.
Or seeing JT at the football. Although I know you didn't like the. Although I know you didn't like the Prince. Although I know you didn't like the Prince. You get what I'm saying? Like an actual event that you go to when you see a performer, and we want the performers to, and we're gonna help them in whatever way possible that we can. Whether they bring up backup dancers to help them perform, or me simply bring a projector and project something that they think is important for their performances. So something like that. Like,
so it's an event that really requires just a lot of collaboration across the board. There's going to be performers, designers, and then people that are putting the event together.
Exactly, opposed to just little old me. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. And that's what I was feeling like, even just leading up to the end, finishing up this album, because I plan on transitioning from a very like inward, like, okay, I'm writing, I'm in the studio, like the circle of people that I was working with to finish this album wasn't as big as the circle of people that I'm working with now to do additional projects now that the album's done.
Yeah, like, including your designer, who I think is
artist.
Beautiful.
Ooh,
yeah.
Shit.
Yes, man.
Ben Wade is his name.
Do you want to shout out his Instagram for
no, hell no, I'm just playing. It's Kung Fu _ Benny93. I'm pretty sure that's perfect. I'm going to double check it. But Kung Fu _ Benny93. He's the shit. He creates incredible artwork. And he's also just a really smart motherfucker who is interested in just doing right by the world. So all about that shit. But it's that spirit of collaboration is, I think, I'm very much the same way, where I can spiral and get shit done by myself in like a little silo, but I'm so much more productive and I'm less critical of myself.
Yeah.
When I'm working with a team of people, because it's about get it the fuck done.
Yeah,
get it done. There's people relying on you.
Also, I feel like just telling people that you're gonna do shit puts your name on the line, and I don't want to be a pussy, so like I tell people to not be a pussy, so like I do it more, and I like stay up at night a little bit thinking like, oh, I don't want to be a pussy, so I'm gonna tell a lot of people what I'm gonna do so they can like hold me to that standard, because I hold my reputation pretty high.
I hear that.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
perfect.
It's like you put the fire on your own ass to make sure that straight up. This album, I could have taken longer on this album.
Yeah.
I've been working on it for over a year, and I was like, it's gonna be out.
Yeah.
At least before the end of fucking June.
Dude, I remember when you
it
showed me the first songs that you were making, and I remember when you first started meeting. So it was a cool.
It's been a process,
dude.
Like,
Give me a double high five.
I recorded in my very first legit studio space at Love and Laughter. That was my first time recording in the legitimate studio space for this album. And it's weird looking, and that's what I also wanted to ask. I was like looking back on, like, last year I said to myself, okay, I'm going to invest in my music. And I didn't know what that looked like necessarily. I just knew that in about a year, in X amount of time, originally I just wanted to put out another 6-track EP. But it became an 18-track fucking album, and I just let it, Yeah. But it's interesting looking back on a year of, I told myself I was going to do this, and I'm not backing the fuck down.
And to add a visual for the people who are listening, you have invited me to recording studio sessions where you were in the other room, and you were asking for, and this is alluding to, like, being part of a team, you were asking for criticism from Innovator and me and the engineer at the time. And that to me is like a sure way to get to mass market, opposed to like having the little me think that it's good. You know what I'm saying? So like, I remember in the beginning of our relationship as a friend to a friend, we were talking about Eckhart Tolle, and to me, like, moving the little me to like expand to a we is like the shit, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, and by the way, I'm like really happy to see you finally release this album, because it's been a long, fucking
a year.
Yeah,
a year. Like, that's longer than people carry children. I was so ready to birth this thing. I was like, just get out of here. I'm done. Go be in people's ears a little bit. But it's just been, and I think that's where like the beauty, and for me, where I think the disconnect in the past has been, I put so much energy and so much like stress and anxiety into this idea, into this finish line, and
you put money into that motherfucker.
Man, you better believe I was going into debt for this bitch, but it's fine. Yeah, because it's called I invest, and usually that has to do with some money.
How old are you right now?
How old am I? You just gonna ask that while we're recording?
Yeah,
I'm 79, David.
79 and still. So you're 79. You're never gonna be 79 again. You're never gonna have this amount of testosterone again.
So right. It's just turning to dust.
But yeah, eventually it'll be 109. So like, might as well. Exactly. So might as well do things right now that you're 79, opposed to when things get harder at 109.
I need to start doing my parkour.
Yeah, absolutely. At 79,
I've been putting off parkour.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I gotta get back into it, you know what I'm saying? Scaling buildings, assassinating people.
Absolutely, yeah.
This is like, that's not a necessary part of parkour. It's called Assassin's Creed. Get with it.
Oh, that was based off you?
Yes.
Oh, got it. Oh my god.
This is like my 13th time on this earth. Reincarnations. No, but like, I just
13th time.
Reach into the clouds, plot around.
You were so spoiled. You were so spoiled for this to be your 13th life. You know what I'm saying?
Call me old bitch.
You're okay. So you're 79 right now, and your previous life was what, like 200?
Previous life was real short. I was a serial killer victim.
But previous life to that, you were like a monk in like the mountains named Javier Alvarez. You know?
Oh yeah, Javier. I was Javier Bardem. The Avatar.
Yeah, absolutely.
First of her name.
Oh, that's interesting. I've actually had a teacher named that before. Javier Bardem is his name.
You did not have a teacher named Javier Bardem.
I had a teacher named Javier Alvarez, right?
Okay.
And
wait, is this the same dude from the beginning of this podcast?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Absolutely. I'm actually proud of myself conversationally to like
for tying up any loose ends.
So, he was a really cool guy. And he was very interpersonal, and he just gave me the space to be me. And
what grade was this?
It was, I don't know what grade, but I was really good. And I remember
he slipped you drugs. He gave you the space to be you, and you don't even know what grade you were the fuck in. You weren't learning math. You were learning math. Gave you the, what fourth grader needs space?
What kind of fourth graders were you and you?
That was smooth.
Elementary school?
Yeah.
That was college, child. I'm just like...
I mean, I was raised in a conservative family, so pretty straight edge. Anything that was out of normal was really dramatic. So, like, I remember in elementary school, some kid tried stabbing another kid with a plastic fork.
Fucking Elliot with his damn Rubbermaid erasers.
So it was a plastic fork, and they were chasing him around the playground. Like, all
What did
these...
he do? He called somebody a nigga?
No, but he was
Black?
half black. Half
Still
black,
black,
half...
though.
Yeah,
Still
yeah. Basically. So he was getting chased around the playground by teachers and, like...
By teachers?
By everyone.
This sounds like 2018. Were they white?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Everyone's after him.
Was this in Irvine?
No.
Okay.
Out in Inland Empire.
Irvine.
No.
Atlanta.
Inland Empire. I hate.
Oh, Atlanta. What the
No,
fuck
no,
was this all white?
And then
No.
he became Gucci Mane.
Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't bring Gucci Mane.
Actually, okay, wait, Gucci, okay, Gucci.
No, we're not.
No,
No,
no.
you're finishing your story. No Gucci tangent for you.
He ended up getting chased for like a good 20 minutes, and
Damn.
cops somehow cops get it, like, end up showing up, and then even a helicopter.
I'm sorry. Did they think this was Osama bin Laden?
No, like,
Fourth
I don't
grader.
know how it escalated. I guess, like, nothing happens out there that they didn't know how to handle
Yeah.
the situation, that they just
This
called the
fourth
cops.
grader, you know?
There was a helicopter over elementary school, and yeah.
Oh my god! And nobody whipped out their sidekick and recorded that shit.
Nobody world
Nobody
started. You know?
pulled out their LG chocolate to
No,
document
it's not
that shit.
recorded. This is not recorded.
Speaking of LG, what cell phone did you have?
No, you see, here's what happens. You came up with a great transition question. We still have to get back to the main subject. But
Okay.
This is fine. Of this fourth grade situation, you did talk about your fourth grader shit. I didn't.
Okay. Who? I know you told me that you weren't as thin as you are now.
So my weight. You had to make this about my weight. So my weight journey. It's
People
like
need to know.
It's like an Oreo. It's like an Oreo. No, a double stuffed Oreo. Where I'm thin and black on the outside. So then in fourth grade and now, but in the middle I was heavy and white on the inside because black people said I wasn't black enough. So that has nothing to do with all this. In fourth grade, I actually moved from a private school to a public school at my request. I've been very self-destructive in this way because I went into like a real bad depression. I was like, I want to leave my school, Mom. And she pulled me out. And then I was like...
That is a good mom, dude.
It is.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But I was like, why'd I do this? And I think my first day in Mrs. Smith's fourth grade class, I remember her because she had very hairy arms. And I was like, what's going on, girl?
What's going on?
That's terrible. I'm sorry. That's terrible. That's what stands out about her. She was sweet. But I peed myself in class one day because she had just shut somebody up. They were like, kids were abusing the fucking bathroom privileges.
Class.
I heard one kid before me get shut down. So I was like,
gosh.
why shoot your shot? You know what the outcome is going to be. So I sat there. And, I was just like, I definitely have to go to the bathroom, but I don't want to get, got in front of the fucking class. All
Right.
these new bitches, please.
Yeah.
So I sat my ass in that back Rosa Parks ass seat and peed myself.
Oh,
That's awesome.
It
that's
was.
awesome.
That takes.
But I was smart about that shit. I didn't make no fucking scene. I waited till the recess bell rang, took my sweet ass time, and I strolled my ass up and I said, Miss Smith, I wet myself.
Oh my god, you were a smart little
Yeah,
kid.
bitch. I was like, I ain't going out like no punk.
God, you were a smart little
I
kid.
said, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna sit in this warm stew and just wait. And then
Yeah.
I went and called. I was like, Call my mom. Get my mom on the phone. Get my mom on the phone, bitch. I gotta go home.
I keep saying kids are actually smart.
They're
smart,
kids
dude.
Can see ghosts,
Yeah.
bitch. Like, are you kidding me?
Kids.
Something happens between the ages of like 4 and 5 where we just lose all magical sight. Like, it's like as soon as you start to be able to speak in full sentences, it's like the universe says, "Oh, and we're pulling that shit, bitch, because you're gonna give out all our secrets to these grown-ass adults."
You again, no secrets whatsoever.
I can't.
So when I was in 4th grade, and this is I've never told you this before. I had a very similar situation about peeing, but it wasn't peeing. It was I fell into the mud during.
I had a
recess.
similar situation about peeing, but it wasn't peeing.
I wasn't peeing, but I did play myself. Which is why I respect you as a little kid.
Beyonce told you, don't play yourself.
And so did DJ Khaled, who is. I tell people in the clubs that DJ Khaled is actually my dad because I'm a brown, bald guy. You know what I'm saying? So, like...
I was like, we're losing you. I was like, David, come back.
You keep blaming all... I'm like,
no! What happened? What happened? You fell in the mud!
I fell in the mud, and it was like a very public thing, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I had to, like, switch pants or what have you. And I had to, like, sit to the side.
Hold on. Did you have these pants on hand? How old were you? Oh, 4th grade.
Yeah.
How'd you switch pants? Where were these pants?
I don't know. I think they were, like...
Did you steal some kids' pants?
No, I did not steal...
Lost and found?
Maybe lost and found. I don't know, but they gave me new pants. And it was really... But I sat to the side, and it was known that I, like, slipped in the mud, and I was, like, that guy. But, like, when I was in 4th grade, like... I was like the wild person in the playground. Do you get what I'm saying?
You seem like the kid who would slip in mud instead of going on, the jungle gym.
We would. People would wait in line for the slide, but I would just like wait in line to get on the top, and then I would jump off the top instead of sliding.
Like, why wait 30 minutes to get some In-N-Out? What, you can just drive your ass down to any other burger chain with an empty drive-thru and get your life.
Yeah, absolutely. So so I used to jump off instead of sliding.
So you were just more of a problem for adults.
Absolutely.
Is that what you're telling me?
Dude,
absolutely.
How often
do you play in the fucking mud? Was this a daily thing?
People don't know.
How many lost pants wound up on your ass?
True.
That's my question. How many threads did you steal?
I was such a troublemaker, man. Like I remember
this like it's this inspirational Steve Jobs. And,
Dude, I always painted like that. I always
you were just
painted
an
like
asshole. Asshole.
So I was Miss Union.
This is not similar to my story. I know. I was the victim. These lying motherfuckers. You ain't gotta go pee.
So Miss Union.
But here's the thing: you decided to get dirty.
Did I?
In a way.
Like Christina Aguilera. You chose.
Yes.
I don't know.
Sorry,
That's gonna lead to like a more philosophical question, you know, like two little.
Christina Aguilera leads to a lot of philosophical questions.
two little quiz.
Who is that girl I see?
Christina.
Staring straight back at me. And you need to answer that question for yourself. Who is that girl you see who is spinning lies out of these tales?
And now I'm gonna be like standing up in the middle of the night, sweating in cold sweat, and
listening to the Mulan soundtrack.
Yeah, absolutely, and then thinking like, "Damn,
about your life.
I shouldn't have made Miss Union cry during the 5th grade."
What was her name?
Miss Union.
Miss Uni?
Yeah.
That is at Miss Union.
At AOL.com. She actually probably
at Hotmail. At SBCglobal.net.
That's good, dude.
That's a real one.
No longer that. What happened to AOL, by the way? Like, are they still
our original
around?
theme was about investing in ourselves.
The choice been yours. Can you commit to the beat? Ooh, we gotta be magician, flipping that hurt into the vision, pulling that rabbit habit out of that hat. Get some mental money. How about that? You can catch me inside that hell. Chameleon blends in real well. You ain't ready when you get into Yale. Icarus stay fly, then fail. We turn it.
So now that we That was a thorough commercial break. So my question is, what are some things that you want to invest in yourself for the future?
Okay.
Like, and you've come a long way since us. Like, you've been on your fucking fitness journey. You've been, taking your visual art more seriously.
Yeah.
What are some things that you like? You made progress this far. How do you feel about that progress, and where do you want to go next?
Dude, okay, so like I can play a room and be social and go play a room very well and go socialize very well. But to be honest with you, like outside of socializing in a party environment and where there's loud music, I can like come and grab a person or get a group going and get them to have a lot of fun and have a lot of memories. Outside of that, and I have that outside, I'm actually extremely great at being introverted. And my personality type is INTP, which stands for Introverted, Intuitive, Thinking, and Perceptive.
That's from the Myers-Briggs, right?
Yeah.
Myers-Briggs personality test?
Exactly. Awesome. I'm glad you...
Myers-Briggs! Check it out at your local internet.
Yeah. Your local...
Whatever the fuck.
Land.
I'm not going to tell them.
It's like LAN is the old connection, But anyway, as I was saying...
nerds, I see you.
And so, like, I do all this stuff, but I don't tell people about it. Does that make sense? So, like, I work...
You work in the dark of night, like the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Dude, that's it. So, like, my job allows me... I've always chosen a job that allows me to work on the thing that I actually want to do, opposed to, like, the actual job itself. When I was younger, man, I was, like, thinking, like, okay, I see all these people, and they're all making the same mistakes, and then I started talking to old people. And when I talk to old people, it's like I'm like looking into the future, because an old person, like,
history repeats itself.
Absolutely. So, like, and we're all human. So, like, if a person owns a record company now and he or she is...
Hold on. Because I love where we're headed, but we're still up here about what it is. What is it you do? If you're in an elevator with someone, you got like 15 seconds to tell them what you do. What do you tell them?
Dude, I don't have a question. I don't have an answer for that. Like, to me, like, I do art, but it's not the end-all, be-all. Like, to me, like, art is only part of the process of, like, putting it into my business, and then, like, business being a part of making my life awesome. So, like, to me, like, when I read books like the biography of Steve Jobs or the biography of Arnold Schwarzenegger, and you might not like these people, but they have had awesome lives that are just like, oh damn, you did that? That's awesome, To me, like, the patterns that I see is that they brought together skills from their previous life experiences. And by the way, in my earlier life, I thought I had a destiny mentality, but I read this book called... I can't remember what it's called. I'll put it in the cliff notes later. And it changed my mind about having that destiny mentality into a more present mentality to take things from the past, join them together to just have an awesome life. Does that make sense?
That sounds like a lot of things that impacted you.
Yeah.
In a positive way, and it's almost clicking exactly what you're talking about for me. But like, and what I'm getting a sense of is like you do a lot of research, you do a lot of reading, you do a lot of like intentional information gathering for yourself.
Absolutely.
And I think that's so important. I think that's phenomenal. But I think where the disconnect is happening is me trying to make like a human connection with how that a human connection with you. To tell me, like, how all of that manifests and makes sense in your life. Because you're telling me about those things and what they mean to you, but I'm not getting a sense of what you're doing with it.
I can tell you short-term goals, but, like, that will help, but at the same time, like in the future, those goals will grow upon the foundations that I've built. Does that make sense? So like at one point in my life, I'm gonna be a philanthropist. In one point of my life, I will be running several businesses, some of which I don't like, by the way. Like, I do things that I don't like because I listened to this guy and he changed my mind about doing things that I don't like. So, like, now I do it because I have...
There's a purpose to it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like, in the next... The short-term vision is to create a system that I can scale up, that I can include people in, to be a social magnet, to bring people into my life, because with a brand you can have music involved, you can have art involved, you can have business types involved, you can have people who are emotionally smart. And what I mean by that is some people don't have their genius in math or art, but they have their genius in
writing,
people,
or yeah,
people,
some
yeah,
people just know different kind of
absolutely,
people.
absolutely.
But so what you're saying sounds like a collective to me.
Absolutely.
Is that in the direction? Because I just want you to see where I'm coming from with just trying to get a sense of what it all means. Because you had mentioned wanting to focus on collaboration and working with other people, and
absolutely,
that being an area of wanting to invest yourself in.
Yeah.
And I think a really important part of that is being able to clearly and concisely communicate what your present function or so is. And I use artist as a broad term.
Yeah.
Artist, conversationalist, now that I'm doing this podcast thing.
Yeah.
What are some things that...
To build a brand is the next thing. Does that make sense?
So your brand development, marketing...
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I think that has been the pattern since I was younger. When I was younger, man, I used to have a club called The Club, and we would throw events, you know what I'm saying? And then before Concept, I was in a collective called Zayo. And Zayo is where Gabby and JD, two people who are getting married now, met.
Yeah. That's what you're...
And we had a studio space where we would get my friends who played in bands to play, and then the people who were in would bring in audience, and then we would bring in rent money that way.
Sure enough.
And JD during the time got a contract where we can pay month to month, and I would provide the musicians, and the other people would provide an audience. So that's what we do. But I do want to be able to benefit something that I believe in, which is the city of Santa Ana, because I grew up there. Like, I remember my uncle giving us rides back when we used to live in Santa Ana, and he was a family man. And people would go up to him, and then we would go as a family to even just watch Christmas lights in other places, because in Santa Ana, before the gentrification, it was a very poor place, and people would go up to the van and try to sell him meth. But he was a family man, so he didn't do that, you know what I'm saying? Like, my tia used to sell cocaine to maintain herself, but now she's a sweetie, and she's like my favorite aunt, to be honest with you. So like, Santa Ana wasn't the most pleasant place to be in, and I like kids who are a little bit rougher on the edges, because they remind me of how I was when I was a little kid. Because like, when I grew up in Santa Ana or went into Anaheim, there was BTS who joined with Boys Gang, and Boys Gang was infamous for, they did like a group gang like rape, and that was in national news. You get what I'm saying? So like, if I can like take these like rough kids whose language I kind of can speak because I was born in that time, in that place, but didn't get sucked into doing meth or
you're able to see
violence.
beyond the limited ceiling that they put over kids in just rough areas.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would like to thank my family for that, because they were always like, although I was almost kind of the Harry Potter, because it was my mom as a single mom, me, and then the bigger family.
You had an owl?
We had an owl. Yeah, we had an owl.
Okay.
His name is Earl, which
Earl!
is a terrible name.
Go back to Earl.
Yeah.
That's what he
Earl the Earl. Earl. It sounds like a real southern way of saying owl. Like if Medea said owl. Like, look at that Earl over there. I'm sorry. Back to single mom, you.
Dude, my family didn't start supporting me until I saved them. Does that make sense? So, like, from being... Yeah, from a tornado. So, like, one time... And this bitch named the fucking Witch of the West. What a fucking slut, dude. She just said a fucking...
Has never seen The Wizard of Oz.
I've seen that shit, man.
How have you, this bitch?
The fucking bitch ass Witch of the fucking West.
What
dude.
sharks did you save your family from?
From last year, my cousin...
Oh, we're talking about last year?
Yeah, okay. Exactly. And then, my family started to see, like, oh, he actually has been doing this stuff for us for a long time, but he doesn't say anything. Does that make sense?
So there was an accident. You know, there was an accident last year, and it was a very clear example of, oh, he's got our back, and he pulled us out of this one.
Absolutely.
And it made them realize, oh, this motherfucker been doing this shit.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, like, my cousin, he came to the house with a knife before, and me and him were really pretty close because I saw something in him that I saw in me when I was younger, and he noticed something in me that opened up his mind to something else.
You saw he was troubled, and he saw you had potential.
Yeah, absolutely. We smoked weed together, and when he was,
I'll do it.
And then I was like, dude, let's meditate. And, like, when we meditated, he started reading different books, opposed to, like, the trash that he was reading, you know? So, like, the point is that he started reading books, opposed to, like, he and I grew up in a very similar situation, but he started hanging out with the wrong crowd. Yeah. Does that make sense?
It was the fact he was just reading to improve himself.
Absolutely. And do you ever kind of sense the difference between a guy who has a dick and a man?
Yeah. Dumbasses, cavemen, trash, and gentlemanly men.
After, like, a while, I saw in his eyes that he had ambition to bring up his family. Because his mom, my tia Sandra, had a rough relationship with my mom after a while, where Sandra threw dishes at my mother, and people came out to, like, there was like a
glass
fire.
dishes.
Yeah, and then my mom went to the hospital, and I remember being in the fucking toilet during the time, and then someone coming up and saying, "Here, take care of Karina. Some accident just happened," and I see my mom, and it wasn't necessarily that it was a big accident because it was a cut over here, and I've had cuts where I've showed my mom I'm like halfway dying, but I'm me being dramatic. I'm like, "Mom, I'm dying," and she's like, "Oh, it's just a cut, just go back to sleep," and I'm like, "All right, I'll go back to sleep,"
and it's fine.
But it was just the aggression that was there, so that kind of split the family into between my aunts and the immediate family, which is my grandma, my uncle, my aunt. Anyway, back to, like, any other questions that you may have, because the topic at hand is, like, how to improve yourself.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Shit. No, that was great. I'm also trying to, like, increase the rate with which, or at which I improve myself, so I'm trying to cut down on, like, all my bullshit.
Yeah.
On, like, you know, on the hour that it takes me to just really decide to go to the gym. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I'll wake up with all the, you know, I set that alarm. I woke up on time, like, time to get that ass to the gym at 8 a.m. 8:30. 8:30 rolls around. I'm like, I'm going to smoke this ball. I smoke the ball. And I still got to the gym. It just happened at 10. You know what I'm saying? But I want to. And I'm making this really funny now, but this shit drives me up the fucking wall when I'm not like talking about it. But it's just stuff like that. How do we take stock of like what went well and what didn't go so well, and move forward.
Also, what do you have planned for the future as yourself as an artist?
Oh, I'm gonna shit on a canvas and try to sell it.
Done, dude.
For millions.
It's the art world,
That's the cool mill.
Yeah.
No, I'm just playing.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
for this, I think right now my transition is more about, okay, I've just proven to myself that I can do X, Y, and Z. Now, how do I shift into a more like business-focused mindset? How do I get out of the chaos that is just my brain? How do I detach me from my brand and make my shit pop? That's where I'm. That's the fucking the tunnel I'm looking into right now.
Mm-hmm. And then the current thoughts of how to do that.
Current thoughts are just at the core. The simplest way I can put it is stop fucking thinking and walk, bitch.
I love that. Yeah.
But it makes all that sentence had all the clarity and all the importance and all the weight right now in front of people and the recording microphone.
Yeah.
But when that bed is holding this body and ain't no one giving a fuck about what I'm doing, I'm like, I ain't gotta do shit. And it's just trying to like fight that complacency, and trying to get over that and just.
Dude, what if you do the same thing as telling people what you're gonna do, like putting a deadline to yourself, and then telling people like Carlton, who like you like really respect as a person and as a friend, and then like I told Carlton about this
fashion show.
Yeah, absolutely. So like I don't know if you're egotistical enough, like
I am. You knew the answer to that question before you finished it. I don't know if your ego. Oh wait, probably yes. Yeah. However, this question ends.
So you don't want to be a bitch. So like, just tell a whole bunch of people, and then like let that.
I shit you not. That's how this album came out. I told all these people this album was dropping. Let's drop this album. And
I feel like
right.
it's a good fucking
You're right.
strategy.
I'm trying to appeal to both sides of my brain and be. I call them Tommy Pickles and Chucky Finster. I'm trying to be both of those
perfect, dude. Yes.
I'm trying to be like out on, I'm Rose. I'm queen of the world.
Yeah.
Living on the fucking edge. But at the same time, I'm also trying to be the bitch that reins me in, and I'm trying to be my own everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't. I need to spread these legs and fly.
That is beautiful. Yeah. To the right location, hopefully not.
Right location. You know what? Shout out to spreading those legs and flying to the right
location, because you don't want it to be like a wrong grinder day.
Because that's why I even said spread your legs and fly. Because Rihanna was talking about love on the brain. I'm talking about sex on the brain. When you are in the roughest, lowest place, and you're not even thinking about what your personal goals are, your creative goals, your career goals. Maybe this moment doesn't happen. If that's the case, then let me know. But when you're feeling that low, what is it that, like, what's your why? What's your reason for striving for things? And
do you want to answer first for yourself?
What is it that gives you the fire to do it? Just do you and do what you're going to do.
Okay, so I'm a mom. So I have a daughter.
Mm-hmm.
That's my biggest reason.
How old's your daughter?
She's 6.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I teach 6-year-old.
Yeah.
6 is crazy.
So she's my reason for everything I do.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
That's my. It gives me anxiety. It gives me joy. It gives me so much like
when I
feeling.
tell you, I've thought about like maybe I should just have a kid and then I'll become responsible. Because like I see it in so many parents that I know like that just have it together
you
or
grow
together
up.
enough. You
Yeah.
have to.
You have to grow
a
up.
life that is literally
Depending on you.
depending.
Yeah.
That's a good ass.
So it's a different type of pressure, but I love it.
It keeps you consistent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It keeps me to like thriving
Yeah.
for what I want.
And do you get those days where you wake up and you're just like, if I didn't have this life to provide for?
Definitely. definitely. But then I get out of that funk.
Because who has time?
Yeah, exactly.
Baby starts crying.
Especially when you're a mom, you don't have time. So, and then
that.
I'm a mom, I'm a student, I'm a worker. So
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, what do you do outside of mom life and this for?
when
when you're not spending your time on baby and baby.
That's what I'm doing. And
You always work with kids?
Yeah, I've always, like, all my jobs have been kid related. I've
Cool.
worked in tutoring, I worked at schools, I worked at daycares, and that's where I'm at right now, at a daycare. And so that's my next goal, opening up my own personal daycare.
So
And
nice.
it's like I want to teach my own way. Yeah.
And so do you think that's your why, is to be able to have control over how you, not just have control, but to really to be able to trust in the way you believe it should be done?
I think so. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then what about you, man? Like, when you feel like you don't want to, like, get out of bed to work, to finance yourself as an artist, what do you do?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I since this album dropped, I've succumbed to that a lot more. Like, I've just stayed my ass right there some days, and it's been it takes, it's not necessarily an in the moment thing that happens. Oftentimes, like, just having a set time where I have to fucking be somewhere and I can't do a call out, like, a shift or, a family engagement. If I have something on my schedule, I would just schedule something so that I just have to be somewhere, because my mind doesn't always get right by the time the day is supposed to start.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I think that's definitely one thing, but when I'm away from my music for too long,
Mm-hmm.
and I, like, listen to it again, I become, like, my biggest fan all over again. It's, like, super cheesy, but it's the way that
You have to be.
and
Absolutely.
I almost
dude.
feel like it's my most aware self writing to my least aware self.
Yeah.
And
That
when
is really cool.
And it's such a trip, because I'll listen to the songs and I'll be like, bitch, you talking to you. Get the fuck up. Like, you know what, I wish you would. Get off your ass, do every little thing I never knew you could.
That is awesome.
So, and I feel like it's really dictated the way that I've written on a subconscious level, because it's like, it's almost like I foresaw myself needing.
What if you put it
this.
as an alarm, opposed to, like, the alarm that you put earlier?
Here's the thing about my ability to sleep. It don't matter who the fuck comes on that alarm. It could be Michelle Obama. And if this body ain't ready for the fucking day, it just ain't ready. Because I hate it. I get so mad at myself. Like, my 9 a.m. self hates my 6:30 a.m. self, because I'm alert, I'm aware, I have memories of that alarm going off, but just like it's this weird, like, it's this weird feeling that I start the day with sometimes, where it just does not allow me, where I do not allow myself to just get the fuck up. I'm trying to do.
Is it a daily thing?
It's not a daily thing.
Okay.
It depends. It's been a little bit more on the daily side recently, because
Yeah.
since I put this album out, it's like this big release. Not like, a fun release, but an emotional release. And something happens to my body. I'm a very emotionally driven person, even though I appear like stone face as fuck sometimes. But I feel very strongly. So I put this album out, and I could have said no words and had no reaction, and I still would have been like a storm inside. So it's a full day process for me to make sure that I'm doing things throughout the day to make sure that I'm in the right place. Like, from drinking enough water and getting enough sleep to just like stepping away from a social setting and literally just breathing.
Yeah.
There's certain things that I'm trying to work into just the way that I do things, so that I can be that machine that I'm trying to be, in spite of my fucking strong ass Cancerian emotions. Ooh, bitch. Ain't that some trash? But
I think that's pretty much a good place to end.
you didn't answer the question, David. I know you gotta go. Just real quick. You said a lot of insightful things, but in general, what's your why? What's the reason that you do what you do?
Okay, so the reason that I do what I do is I stack motivations, and I keep adding reasons to my motivations. So like, for example, like if I'm in the gym and I'm lacking, I put on Gucci Mane's Work in Progress. And then he has a line where it says, I was piss poor, sleeping on the dirty floor. I used to pay pennies to go on the bus to remind me of like what was in the past. Or like sometimes I'll put on Kendrick's Institutionalized to think about my cousin Gino and think about him being a meth person who is in prison. But also like I think about happier shit too, like the shit that I want in my life. Like sometimes I'll have like, even, and I'm gonna admit it totally, like even in front of my girlfriend right now, sometimes like before I would like think like, oh, I want to be attractive to other females, so I'm gonna like, if I can lift this heavy weight over here. And as I grow closer to Liz, I like add her on top of the motivations to like lift that fucking heavy weight and not be a bitch.
I want Liz to get this ass. Like.
Yeah, absolutely. So like, I just like keep adding to like the motivational pool. Like it could be like, and also like some of them are not good. Some of them are like, oh, that guy looks like a bitch ass. I'm gonna beat his ass by like fucking lifting more than him. You know what I'm saying?
Classic douche.
Yeah, exactly. Classic douche. As I put on my sunglasses.
Vintage douche. It's been here for a while. It smells exactly the same.
That's the commercial. Please, let's have a commercial where we...
You'll be the star.
I'll wear sunglasses indoors, yeah.
No, that's awesome. And music is the fucking... music that's been... Sad shit inspires the fuck out of me. Serial killer documentaries and 2000s alternative bands.
Like Sugar Ray or...
Hell no. Oh, if that wasn't the Nickelback of the 90s, I don't know what was. Shame on you.
Dude,
I'm talking My
I'll
Chemical
take
Romance.
the fucking shame, dude.
I'm talking 30 Seconds to Mars. I'm talking Taking Back Sunday. I'm talking Say Oh Sin, Circa Survive, Anne Berlin.
Were you a scene kid?
I didn't dress like the scene kids,
Yeah.
but I gravitated to them once my band bitches abandoned me. Oh,
yeah.
Abandoned. That's cute. I've been dressing up this tragedy for years.
You didn't need those band kids. Trust me, you didn't need them.
I just literally went and hung out with the scene kids who all dressed real hardcore, went to all the shows. I didn't go to any show. I didn't change the way I dressed. I simply hung out with them and absorbed the music. And it's why I became as white as I am today. It's pretty rough. But this is a perfect place to wrap up our discussion. Thank you guys for joining me to talk about just investing in ourselves. And straight up, no bullshit, this is going to sound real like commercial ready, but that's just because I watch a lot of America's Next Top Model, a lot of RuPaul's Drag Race. They're teaching these bitches how to talk on television. But this is exactly why I want to do this show. To have just conversations that I didn't expect to have, conversations that can go all over the fucking place. So not looking at anybody in particular. David Lorenzo. Speaking of which,
add David Lorenzo on Instagram.
We're gonna spell this out at
DE_David_Lorenzo.
At DE_David_Lorenzo. LORENZO. White people, come on now, figure it out. And Liz, do you want them to find you?
Yeah, sure.
Hell yeah, girl, let them know.
It's at Lizind.
At you.
Lizind.
Lizind. IE. At Lizindie. Lizindie. Right?
Yeah.
So once again, my name is Rudy 6. This is the Bodcast. Hit us on our email at thebodcast6@gmail.com. THEBODCASTSIX@gmail.com. Fabulous. Invest in yourselves, bitches, because if you don't do it, I'm telling you, ain't nobody else gonna do it. That's why I also suggest masturbating first, because then nobody want to get you off if you ain't figured out how to do it. Hit me with the instruction manual. Thanks for that. Bye.
You know where it's been all night. I'ma flip my mind, I'ma script rewrite. I've been redefining, finally realizing reality isn't final. Yeah. I'ma flip my mind, I'ma script rewrite. I've been redefining, finally realizing reality isn't final. Me, I'd invest in me. I'd invest in me. I'd invest in me. What you want from me? I'd invest in me. I'd invest in me. What you looking for? Bitch, I'm everything. Bitch, I'm everything. Bitch, I'm everything. Bitch, I'm everything. I'd invest in me.